we're gonna do a little Ben Holmes trivia.
For
Are you
sure,
hyped
for
for
sure.
Noah too? Like
Oh,
for his
yeah.
growth as a
Yeah,
receiver?
the fact that that kid was in the mountains of Salzburg for 5 years just playing for the Ducks.
Was there kind of a this is real football moment last year in the ELF?
Um, I think it was the semifinal game in Paris when I ran the touchdown, and like that game was so much fun. Like even though it was kind of close here and there, but not really. It was so cool to like run for that because I didn't run like everybody forgot I guess that I could run. I
Yeah.
took off, went to the end zone. And I just kind of like for a split second I could see the crowd and they were going nuts and like chanting your little Ben VP. Especially when I heard 2019, I was like, no way he knows anything.
What's up, guys? It's David here from First Down Magazine. We're gonna record a very special episode today. I'm very hyped for this one. As you can see right next to me, there is the one and only Alex Malchow. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm doing great. Super happy to spend my Friday afternoon chatting with you about the ELF, Davide. Can't wait to get into it today.
Yes, sir. And as you probably know, Alex has particular interest, particular liking in a certain player of the Vienna Vikings. So this time, just for you guys, I decided to bring Alex and Ben VP together. What's up, Ben Holmes? Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for taking your time and be here.
No problem.
All right. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to do a little Ben Holmes trivia to start off with. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see if Alex Malchow, the expert, or Ben Holmes himself knows more about Ben Holmes. And then after that, you got to stick around because we're going to switch into a more serious interview, talk about the 2025 season and the Vienna Vikings and all of that.
Cool, for sure.
All right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one is going to be fastest to answer. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
First question is, where was Ben Holmes' first away game in Europe?
Hungary.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So I get what we're doing. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I get it.
That's
now.
1-0. That's 1-0.
All right.
All right. Ready for the second?
Mm-hmm.
Who caught Ben Holmes' first passing touchdown in the ELF?
Ooh.
Jordan Bua, yeah.
Ooh.
There we go.
That's 1-1.
Big Ben got me
That's
there.
1-1.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ben's on the board. Okay. What was Ben Holmes' season high in passing yards last year?
391.
Whoa.
Nice on the dot. Let's go, Alex.
Of course.
Nice.
Come on, man.
Nice.
MVP, let's go.
Yes, sir.
You need to stay in this because one more and Alex wins this, yeah?
All right, I'll get you.
All right. Against which team did Ben Holmes get this season high?
Panthers Roslaw.
Okay.
Ooh, and it's 3-1. We're gonna do the last question.
All right.
Ben, how are you feeling, man? He's running the
I
floors
don't
with you.
check my stats, I guess. I need to start looking at my own stats.
It's you live the experience like
I know.
first yourself.
Terrible.
All right. Last question.
Mm-hmm.
How many yards did Ben Holmes throw for 2019 versus Western New Mexico?
Oh,
451.
471.
That's Alex again, 451 on the dot.
Oh, I was close though. Wow,
You were. That's impressive.
crazy. That's insane.
We're pranking you, man. We looked up all this stuff before.
Oh,
we prepped, and we were just pranking. It's okay.
Nice. I like that.
Just messing with you a little bit, yeah.
Especially when I heard 2019, I was like, no way he knows anything. Okay,
I thought you were gonna get suspicious when he got the 391 on the dot against the Panthers.
I was like, no, that's good. That's good. Bravo to you guys.
All right. It was just as an icebreaker. Let's
Sure.
get going. Alex, you got the first question covered?
Yeah. So you're back in Vienna.
Yes.
You know the lay of the land now. You know which office to do interviews in. Everything's easier in year 2. Tell me about how it feels like coming back to Vienna now that you spent 6 months there before. You're settled in. What does that feel like for you?
Yeah, it's more of a comforting feeling, right? Not like when I first came in, like you said, I didn't even know what train to get on to get to practice. You know what I mean? And now I know where I'm living. I got my apartment. I know how to get to the office. So everything like that is all dialed in, and now I can really take the next step in becoming a true leader on this team. Like, yeah, last year I was a captain and everything, but I was still trying to figure out the offense, figure out, like I said, how to get to the office and everything. But now that I know the lay of the land, all the kind of basic things are out. I got them down, and now it's just hammering out the offense, getting the young guys caught up, some of the new additions and whatnot, and just being around the office a little bit more, being with Reese almost every day, like he's coming into, because he's back again, beer bomber, so it's definitely more of a advantage, if you will. Coming back year 2, same kind of offense. You're not really changing too much, a couple little sprinkles here and there. But yeah, it's a huge advantage, and it's just another step I could take as a leader,
Nice. Is your family coming along to Vienna? Do you have any visits planned maybe?
Yeah, I have. So Jen, Kari, and Claire, they're all coming, I think, right before the Raiders, the week Raiders game in Generale. And then one of my best friends from back home, Braden, and his girlfriend, they're coming to the Raiders game in Tyrol. So everybody wants to come for the dang Raiders game.
Nice.
But yeah, and then I'm going to go to Rome for the bye week.
Let's go. You're going to love it.
That'll be cool. So we'll have to maybe connect or something. But
I'd love to.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Nice.
Happy to hear. They're coming over to visit, and you got some travel plans as well.
Yeah.
Getting back, you said you're already practicing with Reese. I mean, how valuable are like these preseason reps with guys like Reese or Toure or Bierbaumer?
Yeah, it's super super important. Even like Yannick, you list. It's like, dude, we got Yannick Meyer still here. You know what I mean? It's like, geez.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's a lot of individual work, in practice and whatnot, and just hammering out the reps and trying to get a feel for what we're really good at and what we think we're good at. But maybe it's not the right time to run it, or maybe we got to progress into something. So it's just the playbook is the playbook, and now it's like last year we were all trying to learn it, we were all trying to get caught up to speed, and now it's like now it's just kind of shaving the little details, which is kind of cool, because I think the last 2 practices we've had, it felt like a week 8 practice. Like everybody was communicating, they knew what to do. We were flying around, and it was pretty special, and it just goes to show you, Coach Chris's philosophy of bringing people back and having continuity within the team and familiar faces. It really shows, especially this second year. So
yeah, 100%. You talked about being more comfortable and like having a lot of players back, the continuity that your coaching staff values in the players and everything. How does your leadership role as the quarterback of this offense, now that you're more comfortable in Vienna and with those players, how does your leadership role grow?
I think now it's just a little bit more vocal. Last year I was kind of, sitting in the back, still trying to learn myself, trying to learn all the personnel, the run game, the pass game, the protection. So I didn't really have an opportunity to say, hey, like on this, I want this certain route, or hey, on this, you got to look for this. And this year it's basically like I'm teaching the new guys or the guys that are coming back, the ins and outs of the offense, because I was able to sit with our OC, Coach Nick, and our receivers coach, Coach Kuzler, and really fine tune the details of what we want to run. So it's cool that they've allowed me to have a really big hand in what we're going to run. So now I feel like it's my own, so I can kind of teach everybody, and the best way to learn is teach it, So I have a really good feeling that this year I'm going to be, even more comfortable than I was last year. And I think it just helps. It's kind of like a trickle down effect. If I'm comfortable, then Reese can get comfortable, then Noah can get comfortable, then the O-line will feel good. So
sounds scary for the league.
It's been good.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. One cool thing about this upcoming season is how the league kind of shifted its schedule, right? We're seeing a lot more marquee matchups. You guys have a home and home with Ryan Fire, obviously the Raiders rivalry you talked about, and you're playing Paris again. Is there one of those kind of marquee matchups that you're looking forward to more than the other?
Ryan in Generali Stadium, right? Everybody thinks of Ryan, and it's, rightfully so. They have a great reputation of, you go to Ryan and you're playing in front of 50,000 people, 40,000 people, and you can't hear anything. You know what I mean? So I want them to come to us and feel that Austrian muscle a little bit,
Nice.
Get that Generali packed out. And, our fans do a good job, of getting to the games and whatnot. But, I think it'll be pretty cool when they come to us. And they're just so good. You just want a good matchup. You know what I mean? So we'll see if we can get them a better shot than we did last year. So we'll see. But that's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. And going there, honestly, I heard it's supposed to be a crazy weekend, and a lot of fans in the stands. So it'll be fun.
I'm gonna be there when you go to Rhine. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's hope it goes differently from the last time I was in Dusseldorf.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So in the interview you did with our friends from Fourth Town Fiasco, you talked a lot about young, good players coming from the AFL team, the AFC Vienna Vikings. Can you give us 3 names, full names of these guys, and why did you pick those 3 in particular?
Yeah,
a rundown of how they are.
Well, I'll go with the 2 receivers. Niels Keimer and Daniel Schwamm. Niels is more recent in the AFL, and he's just a big target. He's probably about 6'1", 6'2", good legs on him, can high point almost anything. He caught a dig route, that you see like a 4-year like Reese Horn make, and this kid just went up and snatched it, and and he's got some stuff to him too. He's not like a little rookie. He's pretty big and put the work in the off season, and he just wants to, like all these young guys, they just want to work, they just want to learn. So that's always awesome to see. And then Daniel Schwamm, he's more of a bigger guy. He's been around a little bit. He played JUCO ball, I think in Pasadena maybe. But he came up through the Vikings kind of organization and whatnot. And having him back is really big, especially for homegrown talent. That was one guy that we really, really kept our eye on, I guess, throughout the offseason, see what he wanted to do. Third guy, I think he's on defense. He's a corner. I honestly don't know his name. Because he just started he just got back, I guess. He was in America for a little bit. But he's kind of a smaller guy, but he's hard to run by. He's so fast. He's like Jordan Bua on defense.
Wow.
But yeah, he just got here the other day, so I'm gonna have to go introduce myself because his first practice was yesterday. But yeah, he definitely caught my attention and whatnot. But another young guy that played in the AFL, but played with us last year was like Noel. Like those guys that kind of just start with, the AFL Vikings and kind of work their way up. They get to the ELF and they know how to put in work, because the Vikings team down there is, they're just not just as good, but they're a good franchise, So
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So still part of the organization,
Yeah, it sounds almost like a college team, right? Like you have Reese Horn is like the 8th year senior, right? And then
Yeah,
we got
right.
right, and then we got a freshman coming in. Like, what is it like to see like the experienced receivers kind of take the young guys and show them, okay, this is how we
Yeah.
want to break down on this route, or how to
Mhm.
catch, over your shoulder, some details like that.
Yeah, it's super beneficial, right? You see across the league and in every league, some guys it's just all rookies and there's no like, kind of platform where you want to be at. And with Reese, it's like yesterday he took a screen route after he just got done running a few verticals, caught a screen and tried to go score. And it's like this guy is 40 years old and he's going to try and score on a little screen route, So it's like all these young guys that think they may be, above doing the little things right. It's like nobody's above doing little things, and if you can watch Reese at practice, it's like, man, he does everything right, like to a T, like he's a perfectionist, and he gives his all every single play. And, it's just a really good leadership role that he's not really been asked to do, but he just does it on his own.
Yeah.
And then it shows like when you watch Noah last year, it's like all he had to do was watch Reese and then boom, there you go, rookie of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just beneficial.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
For sure.
Are you hyped for
sure.
Noah too? Like
Oh,
for his
yeah.
growth as a receiver?
Yeah, the fact that kid was in the mountains of Salzburg for 5 years, just playing for the Ducks, or it's like, how does this kid know about football? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Across the board, like Noah, they're all good at different things. Like I won't give too much away, but down the board, you got Reese, you got Noah, you got Beer Bomber, you got the Niels, you got the Schwam. You got Kari coming out of the backfield. You got Jonas Schutz coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, Yannick Meyer.
Yeah. Then you got Yannick Meyer.
It's crazy.
So it's just like, man, like we got so many options, and I hope we can just, keep it together. You know what I mean? Like just come together as a unit, which we already are doing. So it's, I think it's gonna be pretty fun. I just got to give my guys the ball.
Looks like an offense that's gonna be really fun to follow.
Yeah, and then you look at our front, and it's like you got the Victor Stoffel kid, and then you got who's a freak of nature, and then you got Router, and you got Big Tony, you got Valtzia at the center, and you got Holub on the outside. It's like these guys are gigantic.
One of the best lines in the league.
Over them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, it's been fun. So, and it's gonna be our third practice today, so it's been fun.
Nice. I don't know about you, but I spent the off
What the
season
hell?
listening to a lot of
Jay, what are you doing here? Hold on.
Whoa.
Jamal
Whoa.
just jumped in.
Look who
Wait,
disturbed
let
the
me
peace.
change the setup so yeah.
Whoa.
Look who disturbed the peace. What's going
Hey.
on, my guy?
What up?
What's up?
Nothing much. I won't keep you long. I just saw. Wait, this is happening now, so I figured I had to come on and say what's up to Mr. Ben fucking Holmes, man. What's up, man?
Man, how are you?
Good. Hey, I have a question, and I'll let the guys get back to it. From the first time we talked, obviously you had just signed. I think you were in upstate New York at the time. Probably just came off from going hunting or some shit. But from the first time we signed to where you're at now, how would you describe this whole experience?
Yeah, it's to put it, it's been a blessing, man. It really has. When we first talked, as you know, I was kind of in and out of the CFL for a few years, right? I was kind of that journeyman. I was either practice squad, third string, second string, back to practice squad, and it's just like I came over here, and it's like I could breathe again. You know what I mean? I could be myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have to try and emulate some starter that I was trying to be like, or not be the best version of myself because I was pissed off all the time not being able to play. So as soon as I came over here to Vienna, I was like, oh man, you mean I get to start and be the guy? You know what I mean? So it's just like it puts a smile on my face, and obviously, it just makes you 10 times happier when you get to be the starting quarterback, and especially for a great franchise like this. But it's really been just a breath of fresh air, man. It really has, and and it's cool because now my family gets to come over and they get to see dad play football and play in a cool city, and go to Paris and go to all these cool cities and play. So Yeah, I hope that answers your question, but it's been awesome.
No, it does, man. It does, man. It's been a pleasure following you and obviously your journey, and one of two Tarleton State grads to come into play, and
Sure.
one retired, and now you're representing, man. But I'll let the guys get back to it. I just want to say what's up, man.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamal.
Good to see you, Jamal.
It was a bit random.
No, it's always good to see Jamal. I don't know about you. I spent the off season listening to a lot of like NFL, NBA podcasts, and one question they always ask is like, "What is your welcome to the NFL moment?" Obviously, you played CFL, you played high level college. Was there kind of a, "Oh, this is real football" moment last year in the ELF?
I think it was the semifinal game in Paris when I ran the touchdown, and like that game was so much fun. Like even though it was kind of close here and there, but not really. It was so cool to like run for that because I didn't run like everybody forgot, I guess, that I could run. I took off, went to the end zone. And I just kind of like for a split second I could see the crowd and they were going nuts and like chanting your little Ben VP going on there, and and it just kind of gave us a little spark, and that whole game was I think I threw for like 5 touchdowns or something like that, but it was a super cool moment, and to celebrate that on the field with the guys and get back to a championship, and it was kind of like what I told everybody I came here to do. Like I want to go to the championship. Like I don't come here to go 6-6. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Anybody wants to go to the championship, but it was really cool. Like in my first year to be like, okay, I came here and I was able to accomplish something that I wanted to accomplish. And obviously probably there's things throughout the season that maybe if I look back on a little bit harder, I'd be like, okay, maybe that was the moment, or this was a cool moment here and there. But the Paris game really sticks out to me, and they're a hell of a team, man. And going into it, it was it was going to be a battle, and we knew it. But that run there at the start of the third was pretty cool.
It was a great game to follow, and a performance for sure to remember.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry to do this, but after talking about the amazing semifinal, I need to bring you back to the final, of course.
Yeah, bring me back down to earth.
Yeah. Sure. You probably remember we had a post-game interview after the final, and I asked you about going back to purple next year, and you told me these words. You said, right now you might have a sour taste in your mouth and make a rush decision. So my question for you is, how long did it take for you to decide to be back in purple? And also, was the final against Rhine Fire still on your mind when you decided that?
So I decided to go back to Vienna, I think week 6. We had I wasn't able to say anything. Kind of like you guys set me up in the beginning there. Me and Coach Chris, so I think it's well documented that last year was going to be my last year. I just wanted to come experience, the ELF, experience Europe, everything like that. And I got here, and then my wife got over here, or my fiance got over here, and she was like, "This is cool. Like I could do this again."
I get used to this.
I was like, "Whoa, don't say that! Like, how dare you?" But then I told Coach Chris, I was like, if you guys want me back, I think we could talk about it. And he just shot me into his office, sat me down, was like, "Are you being serious?" Like, whatever. Nice. We had some. It took maybe about 2 or 3 weeks, but week 6 was probably the week that we were both like, okay, boom, I like this, let's get it done. Let's just not tell anybody. Like, I don't want it to become like, oh, he's coming back, so maybe we can do whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't want to be a distraction. But the losing to Ryan like the way we did was just extra, motivation and kind of a realization that, okay, it's time to come back, and I still have that fire in me, and no pun intended or anything, but I still wanted to play at a high level, and hopefully I can still play at a high level. So we'll see.
Yeah. Are you using within like practices and stuff the final to motivate your team and motivate each other? Like, we need to bring a higher level this year if we want to compete and win the final
for sure.
instead of.
I think that last point you made, definitely at a higher level, because Rhine last year operated at a super high level. Like, to beat them, you couldn't mess up on all three phases. You had to play a perfect game, right? And that's kudos to them,
100%.
man. They were a great team, great players, great coaches, and everything like that. But in football, you kind of got to have a short-term, memory a little bit, but obviously let it sting a little bit. But that doesn't define us. That doesn't define our season. You know what I mean? And we know at the end of the day, we're a good football team. They just caught us on a bad day, and it's shitty that the bad day was the championship game. But at the end of the day, hey, now there's the standard, and maybe we were here, and now we got to be here from day one.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of gives us maybe a little bit of a leg up, being in that championship game, and having that, as you say, a little bit of fire under us, but also, the knowingness, if that's a word, I just made it a word, of, where you have to be to compete at that level. So like I said, like our first two practices, it literally felt like week 8. Like, we're out there flying around. Communication is super high. We got guys that are stepping up into leadership role, like our nickelback, Elmery Lalo. I'd be surprised if he's not a captain this year. He's came in this offseason in great shape. It seems like he's grown to a 6'5". He's huge, just big, thin. But he started to communicate a little bit more and be a little bit more vocal. So I think those guys are starting to realize, like, hey, I got to be the one to step up, or it's me. I got to step up on the other side of the ball, So, hopefully we can use it as a lesson, So,
are you excited for having the new schedule? Because I think that was said a lot of times in the past about the Vikings was, but they have a very easy schedule compared to other teams that like compete a lot in Germany and stuff. And then they get to the final and they might meet a Rhine Fire that has a higher standard, and they're not like ready for that level, or they are good enough to play at that level, but they weren't expecting it from the Rhine Fire, So are you excited about like the change of schedule and having to play these higher, like bigger name teams also through the season instead of just in the playoffs?
Yeah, and I think that only sets you up for playoff football. When you play and compete against a team like, Paris or Rhine or the Raiders or Poland could be pretty good this year too. I don't know if I'm forgetting anybody else, but everybody can be. That's the cool thing about football. On any given Sunday, you can get beat if you don't come up and show. You got to take everybody the same way. But obviously, you get up for the Parises and the Raiders and the Rhines and stuff like that. And playing that style of football through the whole year only helps you in the playoffs, I think. So, hopefully we can use it to our advantage. Hopefully, so we'll see. We just got to go day by day. Try and, like Coach Chris always says, man, be 1-0 each and every day, each and every week. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You mentioned a lot of good teams in the ELF this year. There's also a lot of good quarterbacks coming into this season, and some new guys as well. Who are some quarterbacks? Maybe what's your top 4 or 5 quarterbacks that you really liked last year that maybe are coming back this year, or some new guys that maybe caught your eye?
Yeah, I think Clark. You gotta put him up there, right?
Of course.
He's consistent. He's always in the championship. He's always, in the leaderboard of, stats, even though I'm not a huge stat guy, especially when it comes to passing yards. Like, that's kind of just for the fans,
You didn't even know you're Western New Mexico stat,
Yeah. But, the way he carries himself and, the way he goes about his business and how he handles himself on the field, he's just kind of a natural leader, right? And that's kind of what you look for as a quarterback. Another guy is, I'm trying to, Hennessy. I forgot his first name.
Riley.
Riley Hennessy. That's another guy. Handles himself very professionally. Gets the ball out of his hand, gets it into his playmakers. Even though I took one of them, but we won't mention that. But no, he's I heard he's a great guy. And I think for that offense, he fits that Jordan Newman scheme to a T. And he seems like a really good leader as well. And then you got to go with who else is out there? Give me some names.
We have the Cinet in Madrid, the NFL guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does. I know his UFL, USFL career was kind of up and down, whatever. So we'll see how he does. I think he had success in college and a little bit in the NFL preseason stuff. So we'll see if he can, kind of transition his game over to Europe. And it might be a little different from him because he's not throwing to NFL type receivers every single day. You know what I mean? It's just different. So we'll see how he does. We'll see. The one dude that's interesting is the dude at Paris.
Jordan Henderson.
Yep. We'll see. GFL. Listen, I've been told GFL is not good. I've been told GFL is good. So I don't know what to believe, but I know
depends who you're asking.
Yeah, right. So I know he can throw the football, and he fits it into tight windows and can use his legs a little bit. And, whenever you win a championship at every level, you got to respect it.
He played XFL too, right? Like in Japan.
Okay. Very cool.
That's high level.
Sweet.
Japan counts as like Americans and Mexicans. Like they count as imports.
Very cool. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
So he's been around for a while, and we'll see what they do over there in Paris with the OC and whoever's calling plays and whatnot.
I think it's the young Del Rio. It's the son of Jack Del Rio being the OC.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I don't know if he has any. I don't think he's ever called plays, so we'll see how that goes. I hope it goes well for him, except for when they play against us. But no, I think it could be good. And his dad, his dad's a legend, right? So if he has a good defense around him, that always helps out a quarterback. So I think Sullivan is he still at Berlin?
Yeah,
still in Berlin. Yeah,
still in Berlin. So there you go. He's always a guy that you got to be careful for.
Chuck Jeffries too. Moving to Ron Fire.
Totally forgot about Jeffries. Ron Fire. I like him. I think he's got potential to be really good. I didn't really watch him too much or know really anything about him from Munich.
He had a triple crown wide receiver 2 years ago, Marco Castle.
Okay, cool. So that always helps,
that's something.
So is Castle playing again? Is he anywhere?
Not announced yet.
This year. Yeah.
Gotcha. No. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But that's kind of. I would probably go Clark, Hennessy,
Ben Holmes.
Maybe me. Yeah, probably me. It's named Edward. Edwards retired. Man, I really liked his game. I thought he was fun to watch. But and that's no disrespect to any other quarterback there, but there's a lot of guys that are coming in that haven't played in a long time. There's a dude for Hamburg that played 7 years in college and never played. So we'll see if he can, get back into a rhythm of a full game, being the guy and things like that. But he's got a good. He went to Florida. Went to I don't know where else.
As college names, he has a very good resume.
Yeah, sure. So that's that. I know the kid from Florida A&M. I think the Centurions signed him.
Yeah, Jeremy Musa. Yeah.
He looks pretty good. He looks like he can spin it. I don't know anything about the Raiders kid. I don't know, and I call them kids because I'm old. I'm old as shit. I don't know anything about him. I don't know much about. We talked about the Paris kid. I know a little bit about the Prague kid. He played for Hamburg last year for a little bit. He can move around, does some good things. The Poland kid, I have no idea about. So we'll see. He could be really good. Could be not really good. I don't know. And Throner's kid played in the GFL, right? I think he did pretty well too. So I think across the board, it's good quarterbacks, but a lot of question marks. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
So we'll see.
And
there's question marks out of me too. We'll see.
I never doubted you, man.
I appreciate that.
I don't know. After what we've seen last year and just weapons getting better and more weapons coming in, I don't know if there's too many question marks on you. Probably more pressure and high expectation.
There you go. Yeah, maybe. So.
All right. I think we went through everything, right, Alex?
Perfect.
Yeah, all good. Thanks for chatting with us, Ben. It's so good to see you back in Vienna. Loving it. Good to see your face. And yeah, hopefully I can see you at a game or two this year.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be super fun. You got to come out, get in touch with me or Kiki, or whatever. And we'll obviously hook it up, and we'll see you at the Rhine game. Hopefully it's a better turnout.
I hope so too.
That was good.
I'll see you at the Rhine and probably also at the Raiders game, but might have to go to the one in Innsbruck because Vienna's kind of far. I will have to catch yet another plane, and I'm traveling too much this year.
Sure, yeah, I hear you. No, but if you do make it to that game, let me know and I'll come find you. You too, Alex.
100%.
Appreciate it.
As we do with pretty much all of our guests, can you do a little outro? Maybe a few words for the Vikings fan, trying to get them hyped and out in the stands for this year, support the team. I mean, they're probably pretty hyped after you said that at the Generali against Rheinfire, you need to show them how it is to be away from home.
Yeah, that Austrian muscle, man. We need them out there. We need we need them at every game. I don't care who we're playing. We need them, loud and proud, I guess. But no, it's going to be an exciting year. It's going to be a fun year. Hopefully we put a good product out there on the field, and we need the fans in the stands. Obviously, we got to make it tough on those opposing offenses and quarterbacks so they can't hear, right? So
100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chopping it up with us, and best of luck with all the experiences from the season.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.